The Brumbies, they won by 41 points over the Waratahs in last week's semis. Their third win in a row after that horror stretch that saw them lose 4 in the trot. George Gregan getting ready to lead the side out their fourth final. Defending champs, but clearly the underdogs here. They have 12 internationals in the run-on side, and with Australia A and the Wallabies to be named over the next 10 days, they'll be out to impress against a near all-black strength opposition tonight.
Well, last week they ran out at Sydney Football Stadium to a bit of hate, but I don't think it was anything compared to what's about to hit them as they leave this tunnel in a couple of seconds' time.
Well, they get the Canterbury and the Crusaders welcome. Not much of a roar there, more of a boo.
I think they've done all right out of that.
And they are unchanged.
Yep, there's no reason to make any changes because Bill Young, Jeremy Paul and Ben Darwin so important up front. George Smith in jersey 7. His battle with Richie McCaw will be a vital one, as will Gregan, Larkham and Mortlock. As always, it'll be a team effort. If they can stay together, they'll win this. Mark Bartholomew has had some question marks over his ankle, but he is in the team. We'll see how long he lasts.
Jeremy Paul doing a lot of talking there. And before was Justin Harrison, Walker and Mortlock. We believe Walker will start the kicking duties tonight ahead of Mortlock, and they've got ace goal kicker Julian Huxley on the bench. The Crusaders, well, they're getting set to come out now. Their first ever home final. What a year it's been for Reuben Thorne. First year as captain, taking over from the legendary Todd Blackadder. Justin Marshall behind him. Norm Maxwell as well. Unbeaten in 2002. The fans, they will go berserk as their team runs out onto Jade Stadium. The Crusaders. They love their team here in Christchurch. Richie McCaw. What a future he's got in rugby. And the team unchanged, no need to make any changes, Phil.
No, very powerful. That front row, incredible. Feek, Hammett, Somerville. They've actually even got All Blacks on the bench. But that back line has been something that's functioned so well for them during the year. Major has been outstanding. Leon McDonald, well, that's going to be close to the All Black back line. Vunan Barker obviously won't be there, but hasn't he been outstanding the last couple of weeks?
Aaron Major. When Andrew Mertens has a bit of heat on him, they go one further out along the back line, and Major does the deal. Now the referee is Andre Watson, the 44-year-old from South Africa. He's controlled a World Cup final. He has controlled a Super 12 final before. Jonathan Kaplan and Mark Lawrence from South Africa assisting him on the touchlines. First ever final for David Nusafora, the coach of the Brumbies, and his assistant Brian Smith. Robbie Deans, of course, has been there as an assistant and also as a coach in finals. And you can see there that there's a bit of wind. George Gregan is ready. Great matchup tonight against Justin Marshall. They have to hold the ball on the kicking tee, and Walker gets the 2002 Vodafone Super 12 final underway. First touch for Andrew Mertens inside his own 22.
Last feet, stay back there. Get back 13, get to the last feet. There you go.
Marshall. It eventually comes out. And Major finds touch.
That was an interesting point. While that breakdown was on, Andre Watson having a chat to Mark Robinson on the attacking side to get behind. There's that lurking. He's already monitoring that even at the first piece.
And it was interesting, they kicked straight to Andrew Mertens, put the pressure on him, but a great kick, I think, from Major to clear out.
So here's an early touch for the Brumbies. The battle up front early on should be very exciting indeed, especially for you, Kernsey. Two great packs.
Already the pick and drive, trying to commit defenders for a change.
He's on it. Window on his own number 2.
Good control here by the Brumbies, and Gregan has it now. Larkham, Finnegan out wide as Mortlock, and the penalty. He's got them for obstruction.
I don't think it looked fairly obvious happening at real speed. Justin Marshall thinking about taking the quick tap. That was one of the factors that... the Crusaders wanted Andre Watson to keep an eye out tonight. It was the obstruction decoy running by the Brumbies, and he's picked that one up there. A bit of mistiming there by the Brumbies.
Yeah, it was more mistiming rather than a deliberate decoy, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But it was something we talked about in the telecast last week when the New South Wales and
Here it is,
Brumbies
Curtin.
game. Yeah, I mean, that was obvious. Just timing a bit out of whack there.
2-man, 1 hole.
Just the ball, please.
And that's a shame because for the Brumbies, it was good field position for them. But now it's the Crusaders, and that looked to be a shade forward, but it's play on to Robinson from Major. That's the halfway centre field. Crusaders controlling it, and Greg Feek driving it into the Brumbies territory. This is good work by the home side. Marshall to the short side where they love to play, and this is McDonald up from fullback. Good tackle by Smith, and Gregan went up to wrap it up, ball and all. Marshall waiting for it. Now he gives it to McCaw. He sets it up, but driven back, and good defence by the Brumbies. Oh, straight through goes Mertens. He got away from the attempted tackle, and now he looks out here. It's a race for the ball. Vunnambaka, toes to the head. Who wants it? It's lying loose on the ground, and cleaning up back there is Bartholomew's. Andrew Mertens opened them up. Finnegan never stopped him.
Well, he dooms away at the advantage. Have a look. He just stutters a little bit and then takes off. It was a simple missed tackle. I didn't pick up who it was from that one, but Mertens, I thought he might go the chip and chase himself because he's got plenty of pace. He spied Vunnambaka, thought he may have been the better bet. The angle off Vunnambaka's boot was no good there. Bartholomew's touchdown.
Yeah, it looked like there was about 3 defenders there ready to make the tackle, but he just bamboozled them with nothing.
So they go long with the restart from the 22. And
That'll show you
again.
That'll show you the breeze they have too, the Brumbies.
Yeah, it's a southerly blowing here in Christchurch. Marshall, here's trouble. Vunnambaka. Finnegan was there to control that. Feek running.
Play on. He's on his feet. 7 is on his feet.
Marshall, not a great pass. It's there now for McDonald. He's taken by Gregan, slowed by Paul first of all. Marshall, they're a little flat. Maxwell will take it in, just trying to set it up a bit. About 35 metres out from the Brumbies line. It's not coming out.
Wow, what another bust made there by the Brumbies. Where this before this happened, it was McDonald finding space. If he's turned it inside rather than outside to Vunnambaka, it was on for young and old. It was 3 on none at this stage. Gregan came forward. If he's throwing it back inside to Marshall, there was plenty of trouble. Vunnambaka was handled by Finnegan.
So they've started well, the Crusaders.
Well, we heard John Drake before the game saying that these two loose heads love turning inside, boring in.
Engage. Up now, up.
Mertens changing a call there.
Marshall, Mertens can't get away from Pat Howard this time. Maxwell. Brumbies just not able to get their hands on the ball, but now there's a chance of a turnover.
Oh no.
Advantage, knock on White.
A knock on White, and they go wide. McCaw. He's got Caleb Ralph over on the far side. Ralph, it's been knocked down by one of the Brumbies players. Knocked back, so they've got it, but they're in a spot of bother inside their 22. Penalty, Brumbies.
They need that, and Andre Watson's going to have a chat to Chris Jack.
Yeah, come in. Captain, please. Johnny, come in, yeah? You flatted as well? Okay. Way off the ball. Yeah, illegal use of the boot. The ball was on my side, a good 3 meters from me. And now everybody's excited. Keep it on the ball, please. Thanks.
Well, a let off there for Chris Jack.
Well, everyone is excited too, not only the players, the crowd down there are manic. I couldn't hear half the stuff that was going on from you guys whilst I was down the sideline. It was amazing, but the condition, I mean, amazing, the good handling skills so far tonight. They've been throwing the ball around. The weather is awful. The ground is slippery.
Have a look at Jack there. He's the man. Have a look at that. It's on Jeremy Paul. he could claim that he couldn't see because his jersey was over his head, I suppose.
Yeah, we just saw there that line-out throw from Jeremy Paul. That wind is going to make that facet of the game very difficult for the Hookers tonight.
Regan waiting for it.
Let it go. Let it go.
It's there now. Back into the 22, and Larkham has to change and drop it onto his left foot. Won't find touch. So McDonald takes it in.
Hands now. Falling over.
We're playing advantage here for the Crusaders. It's a penalty.
That's fine, number 2. That's at the ball. That's fine.
There's a lot of talk about just how Andre Watson would handle the match.
Yeah, Justin Marshall getting his 2 bobs worth in with Andre Watson there too, claiming it's the 3rd time.
Hands on first. They get driven over. Then all I want them to let it go here.
You just hear Andre Watson explaining exactly what's happening. It's not a collapse wall. He said it's actually a tackle. They got there first, made the tackle, quite simply off their feet and still trying to touch the ball.
So the line out, about 12 metres inside Brumbies territory. It's sloppy, but Marshall gets back there and fires it out. Major. Back to Marshall. Mertens.
Okay.
Robinson ran into his own man, but it's okay.
You got him still.
Sensible refereeing there by Watson.
That's a more.
Accidental obstruction, obstructed no
Use
one.
it now. Last feet white.
Marshall.
No, he's not. He's not.
Mertens. The grubber kick. And into touch. Mertens mixing it up.
Yeah, it's a good idea to put a little bit of doubt into the defensive team's mind. It did come off a Brumby, therefore Mark Hammett to throw it in for the Crusaders.
Just the ball, fellas.
70th match tonight for Mark Hammett as Justin Marshall. He's playing his 70th as well.
Yeah, just a little bit messy there. Marshall had to go as wide as he possibly could.
So Chris Jack took it. Towed through now. Larkham. He won't have the pace. Plenty of red and black jerseys back there. Wundenbacher dives on the ground. Releases it now. Back inside the 22.
Last feet, that's a rock.
And now Marshall. It's been charged down. And Harrison goes in and wins it. So here's an opportunity. They have to go wide, and they have knocked it on with numbers out wide. Unbelievable. A great opportunity goes begging there for the Brumbies, and Gregan now just manages to get the kick away, and here's Richie McCaw. Puts it on the left boot, and from one end of the field to the other it goes, and running back there to clean up is Scott Faber. Inside it goes Howard, that's gone forward. Oh, all sorts of trouble here for the Brumbies. When at the other end they look like scoring a try, now all of a sudden they're going to come back. It went forward.
Howard took the chance under so much pressure from the Crusaders. Pat Howard tried to throw it out the back door and Larkham went way forward.
I think Kaplan's were going to refer to an incident way up the field when that loose pass from the Brumbies went, and the Brumbies player went down on the ball. I think there was a Crusader put the knee into the back or into the head.
This is advantage.
Andre's not having a bar of that.
Clutch and hold.
Well, from one end of the field to the other.
Engage.
First round try scoring opportunity.
Stand, fellas.
What's the reset?
Listen. Yes, you're going to blame both of you. Keep it up. Shoulders higher. Clutch and hold. Engage.
Free kick.
Here goes Marshall.
Marshall running to the line, and now Major. Very close.
He's dropped the ball.
Yes.
Advantage.
They're playing advantage for the Brumbies.
Knock on.
Oh, a near thing. Brumbies to get the put in.
Watson. Preempting it. Fellas, sort it out. Just sort it out.
There was the hit here by Faber. Also got his hand in there, Scotty Faber.
Hold. Now you've got to be ready.
Oh, that's a huge let-off
Engage.
for the Brumbies. They're under enormous pressure.
Yeah, you can listen, skippers. 3 red, 1 white.
Here's an interesting chat, Kernsey. You'll love this.
Fellas, this lightly. You will keep it up. You will get it right. Or you can go into the sideline and sort it out there. These scrums will work. It's only in the game we're not going to let these scrums collapse. Is that all right? Get it to work.
Somerville and Young.
Get closer, mate. Crouch and hold. Get closer. Crouch. Okay, feel it. Feel it. Let's go. They're feeling each other. Let's go. Oi! Don't punch. Nothing. Get back. Get back.
I'm figuring that Owen Finnegan did annoy Greg Feek quite considerably before he punched him.
Those scrums. Loves a bit of niggle, Owen, but those scrums have got to be sorted out. Those two front rows are more. What a kick.
Oh, it's a beauty.
That's gone 68 metres.
All right, well, that tells you. Here we go now. It's Owen Finnegan niggling away at Greg Feek, and he does let a mini left. He gets penalised 70 metres, as we say, for that.
Just sort it out, though. Just the ball, fellas.
Dan Vickerman outstanding last week in the semi-final.
And who's got it? They've stolen.
Stolen. Difficult conditions to throw.
And Merton's now off the side of the boot. And Bartholomew's halfway inside, and Walker might have had a little look as he snatched at it. And so now the Crusaders have it with Chris Jack up to the halfway. Handling is difficult out there. That pass in field was really rocketed into Walker. High they go. McGaw, it's play on. And the Crusaders on the charge again. Somerville, 30 metres out. 0 the score in the 2002 final. Advantage being played here for the Crusaders. Major! Back inside, Reuben Thorne.
Advantage finish, Clarkie.
Marshall, Somerville, taken by Mortlock. Real pressure here on the Brumbies defensive line, and this is Robertson. Oh, he's coughed it up. Howard goes to ground on it. Support arrives. These two teams trying to throw it around, but conditions obviously very difficult out there.
Well, the best two teams, but yeah, it is. There's been so much rain. They had a big go on here, but it was simply the cash register. Ching, Scott Robertson. They did have the numbers to handle it, though, the Brumbies.
There's a little interesting aside at the end there. George Smith and McCall were at each other over the top of that loose ball. Great to see those guys battling it out.
That's Larkham.
I'll get him up. Don't follow him.
The great thing about...
No, it's not Larkham, in fact. He's okay.
Just because of this guy.
No, it's
Justin Harrison.
Takes to the tango.
Here's that early gap when Mertens breached the defence and then put it through to Vuonambaka. No try, but certainly they've been finding the best of the gaps, the Crusaders. This was their best chance. I think Leon McDonald could have put it inside there because Finnegan handled Vuonambaka fairly well. This is where they attacked last week. Don't forget down their right-hand side, the Brumbies left.
That injured player, in fact, was Dan Vickerman, but he's okay. And now, real pressure again on Larkham, but he finds touch this time off the right boot.
And off a Crusaders player.
So they'll get the throw in, the Brumbies.
What's your 15, please?
The Brumbies just haven't had much of the ball so far in this contest.
Well, 21% in fact, Clarkie, so they haven't been in it as yet after 13 minutes.
No hands in there now. No hands. Lost feet.
And Gregan, he's going to kick this time. Goes to the air. Larkham is chasing Vuonambaka. Larkham got there first. Knocked back, so it's there for the Brumbies again. Good hands that time from Ben Darwin to drag that one in. And now Bill Young. Mortlock. Howard ran into his man. Play on.
Gee, there's plenty of defenders in that second channel. Then there's a turnover. That was just weight of Crusaders numbers there at that second channel.
And now having a run is Feek, Greg Feek. Scott Robertson. Taken by Paul. And now it's Feek. Still there for the Crusaders.
They've got plenty down the blind side, the Crusaders.
Okay. Slowing down the ball in the tackle for number 7.
Well, here's an opportunity. He'll be kicking into the breeze if he has a shot, Mertens.
I don't
He's on
think
the
he
40.
can. Is he having a go? Oh, this is going to be a mighty kick.
That wind's sort of surging though, Kernsey. If he, well, it's most likely he will get some luck.
Yeah, you knocked it on first. Yeah, they knocked it off. Will do.
George Gregan having a friendly chat with Andre Watson.
Well, I know exactly what he was talking about. That turnover that occurred after Pat Howard took.
But immediately.
Oh, yeah,
of course. Immediately.
They're all having a chat to him. It was a Crusaders player on the ground used his hand. Andre Watson couldn't see it, and he didn't get any attention, any assistance from Mark Lawrence over here as touch judge. It was very plain that there was a Crusaders hand to turn the ball over.
He's going to have to absolutely drill this, Andrew Mertens.
Low and hard.
And you know I know a lot about goal kicking, Greg Martin.
One of the world's experts.
Well, let's have a look at it. It's waved away. So it's still 0-0.
Brumbies expect them to go long from the 22.
It'll be Walker. So he goes long again. And Mertens running it up to the halfway and then goes to the air. Bartholomew's takes it.
Yeah, you're back.
And he was inside the 22. Marshall back towards his 22. Fires it infield now. One of the best players from broken play. McDonald.
Off his feet. He's on his feet, fellas. Now, ball's out. Ball's out.
Ball's out. Bartholomew's, I think, went in there to try and claim it for the Brumbies.
The bird poo rule.
The bird poo rule. I keep telling you, we finally hear it from Andre Watson. If the bird can do it on it, did he say poo it or do it?
No, he said the poo.
Bird can poo on it. The ball is out. Let's have a look. It's there. That's a great law, that one.
There's the scrum on the 10-metre mark. And Gregan allows Favour to have a dart.
Great scrum battle there. McCaw.
Oh, McCaw.
Howard. 10-metre mark.
That's a rock. That's a
The
rock.
Brumbies with a huge breeze behind them. Larkham.
Advantage. I've got him, Johnny. Thanks. Everybody, me and Johnny agree. Offside.
So the penalty goes to the Brumbies as their bench.
Yeah.
It's a huge bench here. All of the players that aren't involved tonight got the trip across as well, so they're on the sideline.
Yeah, the double dirties as they're known. They've been brought over. They went out and had their own little team meeting last night, let's say.
Walker, he is going to start the goal kicking tonight for the Brumbies. He's in pretty good form last week, kicking a couple. In fact, he didn't miss one last week before Julian Huxley came on and nailed 7 from 7 against the Waratahs. 51 metres on the angle for Walker, but he has the breeze behind him.
You know what the most incredible stat coming up at the moment, apart from those 4 missed tackles by the Brumbies to none by the Crusaders, is that with this huge win behind the Brumbies, they've still spent 71% of the game down in their own half. Quite incredible, the dominance the Crusaders have got at the moment. They haven't had an easy break yet, the Brumbies, but they may end up 3-0 up. So do you think that horse would be putting him off in the background there?
That's what it's there for.
So Walker with an opportunity to score the first points in the final. It's not a bad nudge. Has it got the distance? Yes, it has.
Well, he turned and
Andrew Walker.
He turned and ran straight away back to halfway or back to get ready for the kickoff. He knew as soon as it had left his hoof.
Brumbies have the early lead here, 3-0.
Well, you were enjoying the conditions before the game for a long time, Kernsey. 12-point breeze, you'd have to say?
More. Absolutely more than that.
It's Aurora.
They're allowed to bounce. Gregan got the kick away.
Well, the thing that I expected to start to show itself a little bit before, even before now, was that I was hoping there'd be a lot more scrums and rolling mauls in the game, given the conditions. More scrums the merrier, as far as I'm concerned.
I know you're a rugby purist. That's good.
The Crusaders. It's been stolen. No. The Crusaders win it back again.
Well, it's the same as the kickoff, Clarkie. Lazy play.
And now it's Robinson, taken by his opposite.
Feet, fellas.
The captain,
Roll
Ruben
away,
Thorne.
6. Roll away there.
Lays it back. Mertens dummying. But his forwards are in
Last
there
feet wide.
immediately to rip it from him. And it's back now for Marshall.
Last feet.
Slow ball. You watch them start. They've got to start again with another set of forwards. They've got to
That's a
drive
rock still.
over.
Last feet.
And this time it's Somerville.
Yeah.
Great timing by Finnegan. He's put the pressure right back on the Crusaders.
They're going backwards momentarily. Now they go wide. And McDonald claps on the pace. Taken by
He
Larkin.
played it. That's a rock. Last feet, fellas. Last feet.
Robinson. Good defence, the Brumbies. That's a 10-metre mark.
Now he's in trouble again for rucking Owen Finnegan this time.
There's not even an argument. You just get out of it.
Ball was nowhere near.
Is it Mark Hammett?
Certainly is.
Boys, I'm 3 meters from that. The ball isn't even close. You can't even reach the ball if you had a 6-foot leg. You're not going to do that on him. You're going to step over, go to the ball and rock him backwards, not just step on him. That's stomping, it's not rocking. Last time, second time with red shirts.
Next time you would think a yellow card would come out of the pocket.
Yeah, that manoeuvre has been put into the history books. You're not allowed to use that again. In old days, if someone wanted to lie on your side of the ruck, you suggested to them to move. Now it's the referee's job, not yours.
Don't you miss the good old days?
Yeah, the highlight of the Super 12, the Rugby Spectacular, and you just want to see some rucking.
Well, the first attacking position really for the Brumbies so far.
Yep, no numbers.
So Jeremy Paul finds the target. Gregan. And now Bond with his first touch, I'm sure. Nothing's gone his way. Not a great pass, but Howard is there.
Last feet, fellas. Stay there. Ball's out.
Picked up now by Scott Favour. Can't get away from Hammett.
All the way, red. Last feet.
Smith. George Smith. Still on his feet. Good work.
No hands, red.
Didn't he show some strength?
Gregan.
Ball's out.
Ruben Thorne. Good defence by the Crusaders captain.
Look at
Have
the
they
rush
turned him?
in.
Who's got it?
Play on, fellas. Let's not
It's still there for the Brumbies, but they're going backwards. George Smith.
It's fine. On your feet now.
Now Gregan. Howard. Mortlock running back into the traffic.
Ball's out.
This is what they need, a little bit of pick and drive to put the Crusaders' defence under pressure.
A little bit of continuity.
Last feet, fellas. Last feet. Last feet.
And who's got it?
No hands. No hands. No hands.
Gregan going and searching for it.
Right.
Now it's Jeremy Paul. Good defence again by the Crusaders.
Yeah, they're really rushing up quickly, making it hard.
Walker. The tackle had to be made, and Major did it.
Oh, look at the play, and look at the Crusaders in there. Did well to get it back, the Brumbies.
Bill Young.
That's 12 phases.
But the Crusaders don't look like cracking, and how often do you see it? How often?
Number 4. Your coach spoke to me about it too. Goes to the post. Number 4 from the side.
After all that continuity, they come up with a penalty on attack.
A credit to the Crusaders' defence because they finally had a go. They'd been having a crack at them in close. If he makes touch there, he's done well. Yep, Andrew Mertens settled it down nicely. But they'd had those cracks, those pick and drives. On that occasion, they went wide. There's Bill Young taking it up. Have a look at the pressure McCaw puts on the clean-out players. There he's hanging on to the ball. They could have given away a penalty on that occasion. It was one phase later when they went wide that the penalty actually came.
Well, you talked about the pick and drive. They just can't get it going. The Brumbies, the Crusaders are putting their opponent on the deck every time with multiple numbers, so they can't pick and drive. They're closing up that any space around the ruck and maul.
Major.
Roll away, 8. Roll away. Thank you.
Mertens. Robinson. Oh, he did well over the advantage line. Now it's Ruben Thorne. That's the 10-metre mark. Now well and truly inside Brumbies territory. The Crusaders down by 3 at the moment. Vollenbacher into touch, but he threw the ball back in field to keep it alive. This is good work by the Crusaders.
They have width as well.
Ruben Thorne takes it straight ahead though. Brumbies try and regroup. Advantage now. There was a hand in there from one of the Brumbies. And it's a gift 3 points from there, you would think.
Well, not in this win.
That's negative.
Yeah, Pat Howard being penalised. Off his feet trying to slow it down.
There we go.
Marshall having another whinge to referee Andre Watson, and Mertens says, I'll take the 3. Well, they were the easy meters that the Brumbies were trying to find at the other end. They just cannot locate them. It was so easy for them to get 50 metres.
And still the Brumbies have about half the possession that the Crusaders have had. They just cannot get out of their half. It's just phenomenal performance from the Crusaders. The pressure of their defence is incredible. Their attack's been pretty solid. The Brumbies, Greg Martin, still looking around this Channel 2, Channel 3, the inside centre area, trying to attack through there, but the Crusaders have got plenty of men there.
Yeah, well, they're not having to commit. That's why the Brumbies you've seen tonight are trying to pick and drive at times, trying to commit defenders, so there is a hole there, but it's still not there.
Mertens, his second attempt, and that looks better. Judged it perfectly. A lot closer that time. They've already started to take it, but it was well judged. 3-all. The Vodafone Super 12 final of 2002. The Crusaders and the Brumbies.
That's a class goal kicker. The posts are shaking probably at the tops of them a distance of half a metre between shakes. So it's not even, it's a moving target that he's trying to go through. Look at Maxwell. Chop a block full of All Blacks, this Crusaders team. Walker goes deep.
And high. Mertens. Gives it to McCaw.
Oh, trouble here.
Oh, the gap closed though.
Ball's out.
Somerville.
Feet now, fellas. There you go.
They'll be growing in confidence, the Crusaders, just knowing as Mertens fumbles there, just knowing that they're running into the stiff breeze. And they're still dominating territory and possession, although they're inside their 22 now. Back it goes to Major. And that ball was just held up by the breeze. Bartholomew's allows it to bounce into touch eventually.
Andre Watson asking how's that win, because he just saw a ball held up so strongly. There's Aaron Major. What a season of Super 12 he's had. Gone short, gone to the front through Scott Faber.
And it was a good take.
No legs, no legs.
So the Brumbies now. They got up to about 12 phases before.
Keep it rolling.
Couldn't go on with it before coming up with an infringement.
That's some all.
But the problem is 7 Brumbies are still only being taken by 3 Crusader defenders.
Larkham, first run for him, almost through. Scott Robertson just holds onto the jersey, and there's a turnover.
Put that down to Scott Robertson in jersey 8.
Mertens from inside his 22. And that's going to find touch inside Brumbies territory.
And Larkham's injured too, Clarkie. After his run, he's just struggling back to position, or trying to.
Well, he had no chance in Steve Larkham. He made the half break here. You see him put the fend on Robinson. Robinson straight over the top of him there. Well, to deck as well. But he had 3 Crusaders on him before a Brumbies man got there.
Yeah, their enthusiasm is another level on top of the Brumbies. A 5-man line out, Jeremy Paul to throw. Larkham still down.
They go short, it works again. And all of a sudden they're back inside their own territory again, the Brumbies.
Come back, Red. That's fine. Keep it rolling.
The rolling ball up towards halfway.
Take a last feet, fellas. Keep it rolling, keep it rolling.
And Larkham still
Okay,
down
restart,
in
don't
back
use it.
play.
You can see him in the background there behind the Crusaders.
Use it now.
Gregan. So Howard comes in, they go the short kick, maybe kicking to Larkham at one stage. Almost to where he was.
Play on.
There's numbers on the left here for the Crusaders.
Big numbers. It's 2 on 1. They turn it back on the inside though. And now the Brumbies under all sorts of pressure again.
Now the numbers are wide on the right if Marshall can find them.
Quick hands they need for the Barker. He's only got Howard to beat. He'll win that foot race. And Marika Vullbarker scores the first try of the 2002 final for the Crusaders. A sheer weight of possession. Plenty of territory. Numbers. Stephen Larkham down in back play. And they took advantage of it. That's his 9th try for the season.
Well, I think the Larkham injury was a factor in the fact that this is how they got the overlap here. Have a look at Larkham. He's a passenger. Major, he's no chance. Larkham's in the background. Major again took it off Robertson. They're right on the front foot, and then it opens up out to their right. They all knew it, and the call came well. They had 3 men. By the time it hit Vunnenbarker, great hands there by Ruben Thorne. Time it hit Vunnenbarker, they still had 3 on the outside. All they were doing was putting their hands up to celebrate. This will show it perfectly, Kearnsey.
Yeah, they go high here. Look, they just totally run out of defenders. Vunnenbarker's gone wide. They still see the 2 Crusaders on the inside. They tried to keep him as wide as possible. Steve Larkham's coming from the field. He has got something serious going on there.
Julian Huxley, though, of course, we saw him at fullback last week. He'll come on. Not sure who'll they put at fly half. He most likely will come on. Also plays fly half.
It's a wrist injury by the looks.
Well, Huxley's ready to replace when needed.
So it's 8-3 with the kick to come. And no, that win playing havoc even with the great Andrew Mertens. So Larkham, yeah, likely replacement. No sign of any blood there. It's pretty obvious that he's holding his left arm, and that's a real blow for the champion fly half from the Brumbies, Stephen Larkham.
The thing that's interesting about playing into the breeze is you have to keep the ball in hand. And that's exactly what the Crusaders have done exceptionally well. The Brumbies have tried to use the kick and tried to get down in the territory, but it just hasn't worked. And the Crusaders just hanging onto the ball beautifully.
Well, the fly half passing stats at this stage, 13 times by Mertens, twice by Larkham. So, and the runs, Mertens 4 times, Larkham 1. So it's unbelievable the amount of possession they've had, the Crusaders. Totally controlled this game.
Well, the Larkham factor, that's a real blow for the Brumbies.
Well, where did he hurt it here? It was his left shoulder, remember? Oh, his elbow. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, well, we see what he hurt, that's for sure. He won't be back. Huxley, in fact, Julian Huxley is at first receiver at fly half.
Look very similar to the Tim Atkinson injury where he's dislocated his elbow.
Keep going.
So the Brumbies just trying to gain some parity up front.
They said that before the game this was to be their tactic, to try to soak up some of those Crusaders defenders, thus giving their backs when they receive the ball a little bit more room. The tactic hasn't worked.
Being told to use it now. And Gregan goes in looking for it. Now he gives it to Huxley. Oh, that's not a great pass early on, and Howard puts it down. So the Brumbies, they're clearly rattled at the moment.
And there's trouble out to the left if they can get it there, the Crusaders. They don't.
Now Mertens is going for distance. Bartholomew's 30 out from his own line, taking them on. Howard onto the left foot. And Scott Robertson is back there on the 22, who fires it across now. That's McDonald, just sizing up the opposition and kicking and getting back there is Walker. He fired it into Bond.
He's on his own.
Yeah, limited opportunities. Limited support out there as well, but they get the penalty.
Pick up the last feed through the posts, please.
Yeah, Richie McCaw, number 7 for the Crusaders. He just couldn't help himself. The ball was there and he had to come in from the side.
Well, they desperately need this break to recover, to get together again, have a chat, settle things down.
Well, mate, even that little bit of play there, Kernsey, where Bartholomew's took it back in, they got the ball out. Pat Howard's just kicked it off his left straight down the middle of the field. Gives them another chance. McDonald, everything the Crusaders do, they've been doing well. Have a look at Richie McCaw in 7. Doesn't come from in behind the last feet, straight in the side. It was too delicious for him to ignore.
Well, stolen.
That's the second one as well.
And now Mertens will make them pay with territory. Oh, he's given that a huge stump. Oh, what a kick. What a kick into the breeze as a Brumby down in back play as well.
That is a pearler of a kick by Andrew Mertens. Absolute stinger.
In back play, this man is in a lot of distress.
Thank you.
It looks like Dan Vickerman. Clarkie, can you pick it up?
It is Vickerman, so something happened in that line-out. He didn't move.
Can't play numbers. Go back. The numbers are square. Go back.
Won by Harrison, but again the Brumbies inside their 22. It's just been a clinical display by the Crusaders into this strong win. Still a long way to go, but the Brumbies just need.
Look at Hammond in there, in jersey 2, right at the pinpoint.
And it's turned over again. Fortunately, it was sloppy in there because they had a huge lineup out to the left, and now it's back with the Brumbies. And Huxley, he won't find touch. And McDonald takes it on the run. So they've got more possession. There's Reuben Thorne in support. Now McCaw. The loose forwards working well together.
Fine.
And Mertens fires it out, just tapped on, and Hammett's over here on the right wing. Jack.
Last three fellas, come back, grade 1.
This is where the Crusaders just probe away until they unsettle the opposition. This time by the kick, to Smith.
He goes to ground, and it comes slowly. Walker and Gregan. That's Bartholomew's turning it back inside. They lose it. Intercept. But there was a knock on.
I think it's Huxley, was it, that put the ball down and hit handily.
And thank God for Pat Howard in that case. That was trying for the Crusaders again.
Happy mark, Johnny, for that tackle?
I don't think the tackle was too much of a problem. I think it just hit him fairly heavily. He's not a huge man, Julian Huxley. It was a great turn the ball inside. He ducked his head into Chris Jack.
I'm all right, thank you. Thanks,
yeah,
mate.
he's copped one.
Okay, fellas, it's scrum.
This is where Vickerman got hurt. Have a look at how he landed. Oh, he's hit the head of Ben Darwin there. Right in his cheek on Bill Young.
Bill Young.
Red ball. No ball. Hang on, stay up.
Repeating the Brumbies already with Stephen Larkham off the field with either an elbow or a wrist injury. He's been replaced. They're down on their firepower, and they go to that left-hand side through Caleb Rolfe, who's playing his 50th consecutive match, the number 11 for the Crusaders tonight. Wide they go. Who wants it? Knock on, but they're playing advantage.
Wide knock on at the contact point. Red ball.
Knock on by the Brumbies. Crusaders get more possession with this put in.
Yeah, Caleb Ralph hasn't seen too much ball. The knock-on was there by Julian Huxley, of course. Made the tackle, then went after the ball, just unfortunate.
We're still too low, fellas. We're still too low when we hit. Up here. Hold. Engage.
It's 8-3, the Crusaders.
Okay, feed him, thanks.
Over the Brumbies. Getting close to half-time. The Brumbies will be desperate now to hold them out before the break, and they go wide. Vunnenbacher again, kicking ahead. Chance down and into touch by Bartholomew's.
They did have them covered, Vunnenbacher. Well, it was the right tactic. Bartholomew's are the equal. There he is, Vunnenbacher. What a potent attacking force. Suspended for a lot of this season after a nasty incident in the Sevens tournament early in the year.
He was the only non-All Black in the Crusaders back line, but he's played 13 tests for Fiji.
It's not bad, is it?
So Hammett, the Crusaders looking for more points, not throw.
They cannot compete there. Put it there.
Not straight. No reflection on the quality of the game either, but I've just been watching a plastic bag blowing around the ground, and the swirling in this stadium is absolutely amazing.
Oh, there's a scrub now. You'll pay attention.
Well, watch this.
Regan with the put in. And now it's Walker at first receiver. They want to get out of there. They really need a touch finder. And the roll is a pretty good one by Walker. That's what they needed.
But remember that kick and watch Andrew Mertens rip out about 20 of those in the second half.
Yeah, and the thing is, the ball goes back to the Crusaders here, and they've proved so successful in getting out of their own 22.
Yeah, they're ripping off the easy meters, aren't they, Kearnsey?
Yeah, and not just from kicking either.
Gentlemen, who to goes, please, Steve?
They go to the back of this lineup, and it's nobody that is there, and it's been picked up by the Brumbies. So all of a sudden the Brumbies might have the last crack at them. No, they've lost it forward, and now they'll try and break out from here, will they? No, Chris Jack goes straight ahead. Big run, strong run by the second rower, and there's support there. Aaron Major, over the top it goes. Vunnenbacher, he's got Gregan to beat. Marika Vunnenbacher throws it back on the inside, picked up brilliantly by Jack, the man that started it. What a performance he's putting in, the big second rower, and now they go across field, and Mertens.
Advantage.
It's advantage here for the Crusaders. The Brumbies offside, and now Vunnenbacher. They keep the pressure on. It's 8-3. Half-time siren has sounded, but it's play on, and inside they go. Feek. 5 or 6 metres out. Can the Brumbies hold them out before half-time? A crucial moment coming up. Penalty. Knock on, though, by the Crusaders. They'll come back for the original penalty. And so Mertens will have a shot, no doubt.
That's a supreme result for the Brumbies. No need to give away a penalty there. Chris Jack, he started it, he almost finished it. The power and the pace of this, who will be this year's All Black second rower, to Aaron Major, to Vunnenbacher. What about Gregan? He pumps his legs and then his arms. And there's Jack again. Crusaders have got total control of this fixture.
Yeah, their aggression at the breakdown, at the tackle for the Brumbies is amazing. The Brumbies are trying to get the clean out, but they just haven't got the players there to do it quickly enough. That is absolutely the difference. Every time they get into attacking position, the Crusaders just take it away from them.
So Mertens. Kick one from 2 so far. In fact, he missed his conversion as well, so it's 1 from 3. And this one. Vital points and no problems. No problems whatsoever at that range. The local fans are happy, and why not? Running into a stiff breeze. It's been a clinical performance by the Crusaders. And at the break, they lead by 11 points to 3. The Crusaders over the Brumbies. They're without Larkham, of course, the Brumbies. So they'll have to have a long, hard look at themselves at halftime, and we'll take a short break. And then we'll come back and have a look at some of the moments from the first half. Don't go away.
Very sad.
Unless it's a draw at full time and we have to go into extra time.
Oh, right, let's get it underway.
Second half action.
No hands
2002
there,
final. And a huge task ahead of the ACT Brumbies, the defending champions, up against 3-time winners,
Adjust.
the Crusaders. And this is their first final at home. No sign of any stage fright, though. And here's Caleb Ralph. That's the halfway line. You would think that the Brumbies would really have to be the team to score first, and there they put it onto the toe. Expect plenty of kicking. Oh, and there's good chasing there as well to put some pressure on the Brumbies, but Walker leaves the ruck and now gets back to drop it onto the right foot, and he finds touch.
And the quick throw.
And it's Robertson now. Kicking for the corner for Caleb Roth's wing, but it's into touch.
Is that a show of confidence? Quick throw. Robertson takes on the defence, the number 8, and then pops it across for Leon McDonald and Caleb Ralph. Supreme confidence. They got a huge win behind them.
We saw Merton showing his intentions quite early, putting little Grubber down the sideline. He's going to play this position game, play the territory.
They go to the back of the line out and they find Harrison. His ankle looks to be holding up okay.
No hands now, Red, no hands.
It's out.
It's out.
Sloppy ball, but picked up by Pat Howard. He picks up some metres. The pick and drive. There's Graham Bond. Now Jeremy Paul.
Mortlock at first receiver for the Brumbies.
Pat Howard in there. Driven back.
Let it go, let it go.
Mortlock. He hasn't really taken them on. They haven't
Okay,
really
now, let it go,
been able
Simon,
to get
get
the
off your
back line
feet.
moving.
Okay, you two, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it
Harrison.
go. No, no.
George Smith working away at the ball there.
The
Looks like a
Crusaders think
turnover.
they've won it. And they
Let it
have.
go, White. He did
Wow.
not let it go.
Is this someone else being called out for
A word,
using the
please.
feet? No.
No, no, no. I'll decide that. I'll decide that. Now, you guys are complaining about boots on players. He's holding on to the ball on the wrong side.
Gotcha.
Okay? And if they're going to hurt you, it's not my problem. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Look at Justin Harrison being used. Look, he's got his hands on the ball. If he does it again, he should go to the bin, and that's what the point Justin Marshall was trying to make about Justin Harrison.
He actually got off pretty kindly there, I thought.
Well, because they'd already been penalised twice for rucking.
Well, they said that they really had to try and
Once you
restrict.
to go for the ball, and
As we hear Andre Watson talk to a player on the run, but they said all week that they had to really restrict the opportunities for Andrew Mertens. 35 metres, not a very difficult angle for him. And he'll be more than happy just to plug away, banging over the three-pointers. Kicking towards the Hadley stand.
He's pushed
he's
it out
missed it.
to the right.
Well, it might be a big win, but it's also got a bit of power to the sideways. That's a let-off for the Brumbies.
So it's still 11-3. The Crusaders over the Brumbies. You think back to the 2000 final, similar weather conditions as far as the chill factor goes, but on that occasion it was all the Brumbies who won the ruck and maul stats, just about every single stat. And of course, the Crusaders came back and won it against all the stats. I wonder if the Brumbies could come up with something like that.
Well, there's certainly, let's not discount that they're not out of this, but it's going to take a huge change, and that's a bit of obstruction there by
it's
North
accidental.
Maxwell.
It's not obstruction, accidental. Scrum down, white ball.
It was Richie McCaw, I'm sorry.
Up there, fellas.
Well, there's only been 6 scrums so far in the game, 3 apiece.
Okay. Crutch and hold.
No locks! Locks! No locks!
Engage. Okay, fella. Yeah, I saw this. No, there's it. It's proves in the slipping. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, fellas. Yeah. Crouch and hold.
Give it a check out!
Come closer. Engage. Up. Okay, thank you.
Scrum on the 10-metre mark, Brumbies territory.
Why is that? Why is that?
Well, we
Don't come
see
up.
Greg Feek
Stay
turning
in
inside there.
Crouch and hold.
Is he blaming Ben Darwin for that, Kenzie?
No, that was Feek.
Okay, feed it.
Turning inwards that time.
That's out, that's out.
Howard over the 10-metre mark.
It's fine. We've got no hands now, Red.
Gregan. Inside ball from Finnegan to Harrison. Mortlock from a standing start. Just hasn't been able to penetrate tonight.
Ball's out.
The back line
Get
not
away,
really
Red.
firing because of this magnificent Crusaders defence. Gregan. Walker.
They've got no width at all
Nice
about them, the Brumbies. They're just being out enthused at the moment. Mortlock tries to spark something.
Got over the advantage
Nice
line.
now. Okay, let it go, Red. Let it go now, Red.
And they've coughed it up, the Brumbies.
And here's trouble.
Scott Favour. And now Hammett it is. Can he get the hands free? Gregan, great tackle. He had to try and slow the ball, and he got both arms around. They go wide now, and this is Robinson. Got away from Mortlock, got away from another. And inside it's Marshall. The Crusaders, Caleb Ralph couldn't hold on.
Right hand.
Smith got an arm to it.
And just in the nick of time, Walker got it into touch because it was play on. It came off a Brumbies hand, the referee said. Well, Robinson just left a couple of them in his wake.
Mortlock just beaten pointlessly here off the left foot, just threw his arm out, no real commitment, and that seems to be the story of the night. George Smith, watch him keep coming here. He just gets inside Caleb Ralph. May have been a try saver.
But it's still problems for the Brumbies, but fortunately they've been able to win that line out. But they're inside their own territory, back into the 22, and Huxley goes wide, and Mortlock to nobody. Bartholomew's. He has to try and tidy up. He
Still
won't
trouble.
find touch. It's McDonald away from, well, he almost got away from one inside.
Kick there, in front there. Kick there. Offside.
Crusaders player offside, fortunately for the Brumbies.
Yes, from there, 3 metres.
Well, you get the feeling that they're holding on, but only just. The Brumbies.
Yeah, little pieces of luck keeping them in this game. They've got to take advantage of one of these with some points on the board. That's a super kick by Andrew Walker. Is that the first time they've been in the half of the Crusaders since half-time? Huxley played it well. A good ball there from Bond. Sterling Mortlock not having the happiest of nights. A good ball there to Bond may have created something.
Well, Jeremy Paul. He goes to the front, and that's quick ball for Gregan, and now it's Huxley, Howard, and now Mortlock. They were waiting for him, though, and Mertens held on. And now it's Harrison charging onto it. Good defence, but Gregan has it. Here's Jeremy Paul, ran into Chris Jack. Probably not the smartest thing to do.
And he's tied up the ball too. Jersey 4 there, Chris Jack. They've got to get it out of there or they'll lose at the Brumbies.
And they have. It's a turnover. Magnificent defence, and now Mertens has got numbers. He's got Major.
Oh, Walker and Boone and Barker. Keep an eye on this.
And Bartholomew's is coming back. And Bartholomew's, he has to release there. Who wants it? Pat Howard did well to get back there. He got it back to Gregan. Gregan to Bond. They're not going to find touch. Here's another onslaught on the way. Mertens, who wants it? Bond has him. That's the 22.
And Mortlock injured in back play. He's just coming back into play now. He's
His
been out of
ankle
this
as well.
defence.
Well, the Brumbies have it from that. Not a great pass, but Walker, plenty of time. And he kicks it into that stiff breeze and makes 15 or so metres.
If that, a real boomerang. But what about this for a tackle by Chris Jack? That's why another one of the reasons why it'll be All Black second rower this year. And from that, they've turned the ball over. Look at Richie McCaw in jersey 7 for the Crusaders.
Ruck and more turnovers.
On 6 occasions, the Brumbies taken it in at the breakdown and lost the ball.
Hammett found Maxwell. Marshall. Mertens. Aaron Major, that's forward. Well, that's a rare mistake. Mertens can't believe it.
Well, if you're going to play flat, throw the ball flat with a wind like this, it is going to go forward. It's another let-off for the Brumbies. They've had plenty of them. There's Dave Hewitt, reserve prop, coming on there for Greg Feek. Interesting change here.
And Peter Ryan Looks like he's coming on. I think it's Scotty Faber may come off.
Greg Feek, not a bad replacement, is it? Dave Hewitt, he's another international. He's played 3 tests for the All Blacks.
What about that? Is that all right?
They've got experience right across the park and on the bench as well.
Okay, fellas,
So Scott Faber, he has a breather, the 26-year-old, and Peter Ryan is on
Do
there.
it. No.
Ryan, missing the last couple of matches through injury, penalty to the Brumbies.
Don't go. Don't go. Number 3.
Enormous strength in New Zealand rugby in the hooking position at the moment. With Anton Oliver out for the season, more than likely, Hammond will be the one that probably steps into that All Black roll-up, but there are a few more internationals behind him.
Well, they name the All Black side tomorrow, so it's pretty handy for him. And a lot of these Crusaders players, they get the last showing before the team's announced, right on halfway.
And the Brumbies up and up for Gregan and Huxley, and now Bond almost through the tackle, but gee, I can't remember the Crusaders falling off many tackles.
No advantage.
Be a penalty to the Brumbies.
They're maintaining possession, therefore pressure, and giving away penalties. Richie McCaw there in 7.
Yeah, and you too as well. And you
Mortlock still back down in just trying to get clear his head.
Number 7.
Not quite sure what's wrong with him. But round the breakdown, the Crusaders have just been so disruptive. The Brumbies just cannot get a roll on. They're trying to get the quick ball. The Crusaders are killing it and slowing them down, and they just cannot get away.
They're doing it well, Kernsey, and this represents the Brumbies' biggest chance. It's good for them that the game is slowed down a little bit because they're into the breeze. They don't want it to happen too fast, and they're only 8 points behind. This is their chance. The ball has not gone straight.
I know it's unfortunate, but they've got to contest. Then allow for it. It's not straight, fellas. I'm sorry.
That's the danger, isn't it, Phil, if you continue to go long?
Okay, fellas.
Yeah, it's very difficult in these conditions, throwing to the back of the line out.
Action hold. Engage. Oh, here. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Keep it up now. Engage. Okay, feel it.
So the Crusaders with an opportunity to bang it downfield again. And Mertens not finding touch. Bartholomew is inside the 22. Confronts Vunambaka. But George Smith got back there. I'll tell you what, there'll be an urgent need for numbers to get back there with him. They arrived just in time, and Howard stepping, but forced back into the traffic. Darwin, good strong run. More of that, please. To the short side they go now. And Bartholomew's. That's a 10-metre mark.
Well, that's the 5th phase that they've contested.
Cregan, Huxley showing it, trying to duck under a couple of tackles there, but Chris Jack was there, so too was Norm Maxwell.
Where's it go?
Oh, Mortlock, that was forward. Mortlock just tried to get back into the game, and it was a shade forward.
And you can just see how disruptive the Crusaders are around the breakdown. George Gregan desperately trying to get the ball. Here's Huxley trying to slip through that tackle. It's Jack again. He's the one slowing the ball down. Gets out eventually, and the Brumbies keep striving to get over that game line, but it's just not happening.
Have a look at the huge blindside. To the right they go through Mertens.
Mertens calling McDonald in, taken by Peter Ryan.
A long time away. No hands now. No hands.
Marshall, Maxwell.
Yeah,
Wait up.
the Brumbies defence lacking that same sting that the Crusaders have had.
Advantage here for the Crusaders. It's on the 10-metre mark, pretty well in front. What do the Crusaders want to do?
Advantage.
They go wide. Robinson. Again, away from the tacklers. Robinson, he's in great form. And Jack, the first man there in support.
I'm still on advantage.
Still playing advantage. Hammett, straight ahead.
Let it go. Let it go.
George Smith.
No advantage.
So they'll come back to the original infringement. It was on the 40-metre mark. How far back will Andre go?
Look, the interesting thing about the refereeing tonight, I think Andre Watson's had a pretty solid game. Just noticing actually both sides at the breakdown. We might even see it here. Neither side has made. Well, here's the break from Robinson.
That's a bad thing because Robinson will most likely be the All Blacks outside centre, and again he's beaten Mortlock there with the step off the left. Mortlock, of course, has been injured in the last 5 minutes.
I wonder if he has a problem with his left arm or left shoulder, because that's where Robinson's targeting.
It seems to be below the hip. It's something to do with his leg. I'm not sure what.
Both teams at the breakdown not making any attempt at all to stay on their feet. They're just flying in, their bodies all over the place. No attempt whatsoever to stay on their feet.
Mortlock actually has a problem with the right leg, we're told. So trying to prop off the right leg to tackle on the inside is a problem.
Okay.
Mertens, any problems for him? Not this time. So they go out to 14 points to 3.
Have you ever seen such a colourful crowd as this? These are rugby diehards, rugby desperates here at Crusader Stadium at Jade.
I can't see too much colour. All I can see is red and black.
Well, that's both of them in colours. I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you.
Still plenty of time here for the Brumbies, but they need points. And they haven't looked like scoring a try. The Crusaders, 12 in a row this year. No team has ever done that before in a season of Super 12 rugby. To think they've won the title 3 times, but this is their first home final.
What about this man? He has had a huge impact last week on the semis and again tonight. Chris Jack. What an awesome athlete.
Numbers, no numbers, no numbers. We're not playing chess here.
Sloppy, but Gregan picks it up.
Yes, gone.
Jeremy Paul.
That's more like the speed they want to pick and drive at. As long as he's got help. They need an extra man there.
Vickerman.
Okay, on the deck, let it go.
Howard. Short side, Mortlock.
Advantage white.
Bartholomew's. Advantage here for the Brumbies.
The defence is just so strong, the Crusaders.
Jeremy Paul, they're going nowhere, so they'll come back for the penalty.
Number 12. No, he was offside, yeah.
Aaron Major,
Number 12.
Player offside. It's
Fellas.
when the Crusaders got another 5 players on the field. When you look out, the ball comes wide.
Oh, I'm going to count them.
That won't help us. That won't help us.
I think you're right. There are 5 more. 18, 19, 20. Yep.
Thanks, Guernsey. Wonder they're winning.
Yeah, I won't play numbers like that, yeah.
One thing I guess that is working in the stiff breeze is the line out for the Brumbies. They've taken 3 off the Crusaders. They've lost a couple of their own, admittedly, but
Oh, it's a tough night with this wind.
Yeah.
Well, this is their very real chance. They've gone to a 4-man line out. Hopefully they'll throw short.
and they find Vickerman, and now down to Gregan, Huxley, Mortlock, plenty of red and black in front of him. Gregan, who's got something here for the Brumbies. Harrison goes to ground. It's quick ball for Gregan again. He gives it to Finnegan. A rare charge by Owen tonight because it just hasn't gone their way. Now Howard stepping off that left foot and going to ground about 7 or 8 metres out. The pick and drive.
Last feet.
There for Gregan again. Huxley gives it to Bond. Good defence though.
Thank you.
Jeremy Paul. And they drive him back. Great tackle by Maxwell. Huxley has to go to ground.
Oh, he's let it go. Roll off the grid. Roll off the grid.
That's
Gregan.
7 phases.
Finnegan. Mertens. And support in there for the tackle. Now it's Bartholomew's. Back inside it goes to George Smith. He's taken.
Last feet.
Gregan. Vickerman, he's lost his headgear. Gregan.
Play on.
Ben Darwin.
Didn't leave the hands.
Harrison.
I'll be away.
Walker. And now Paul. Great defence though. They're everywhere, the red and black jumpers.
Big hit from Andrew Mertens.
If the Brumbies don't score while they've got the ball now, they won't win the game.
Gregan looking for runners and they just cough it up. Oh, well, they're tired. That was the sign of a very tired forward when Ben Darwin coughed that up.
15 phases. 15 phases. And at times they went close. Crusaders take a huge bow. Have a look at this for drive. And then when they get a sniff of trouble, they pile in numbers. They don't waste them when they don't have to. George Smith, he's calling for volunteers. He couldn't find anyone to give it to.
Well, Somerville and Maxwell, great defence. That's where they're absolutely hammering the Brumbies around the edge of that ruck and maul.
I'm not going to play numbers.
That breaks your heart as a forward. Absolutely breaks your heart.
It's advantage here for the Crusaders now.
Well, you saw the wind take that ball.
Now they're saying that it came off one of the Brumbies' hands, but
They're going to contest.
the referee saw it differently. There's Stephen Larkham on the bench with an arm injury. They're not a happy lot. It's got nothing to do with the weather. It's a fact that they just cannot
He's run down.
match it with the Crusaders.
It's that extra 3 metres that Richard McCaw just earned. Look at Reuben Thorne. It's men against boys. Huxley's down on his feet in jersey 22. He's out. He's seriously hurt.
And they put it through the hands. Somerville now. Another Crusaders
He's on his feet. No,
raid inside Brumbies territory. 17ers Hewitt, and he got it across to McDonald.
No hands, 5. No hands.
McCaw. Marshall calling for troops.
Ball's out.
Marshall, Mertens, both hands in the air. Give it to me, he says, and then he hands it off to Vunambaka. That's good tackling.
He's on his feet, White.
Mertens, shaped on the inside, got out to Major on the outside. Howard holds on. Bond in there,
He's on
fighting
his
for the
feet. He
ball.
wanted to fit him square. Sorry.
Brumbies ball.
Mortlock.
Mortlock
Down
away.
the short side. Still going. McDonald comes across.
But he's on his own. He's got to wait for the reinforcements.
And they turn
They
him.
turned him.
Last feet, come back, Red, come back.
But it's still
With
there for
me.
the Brumbies. Well, that's better from
With me.
Sterling Mortlock.
Okay.
Now it's Bartholomew's. And Huxley gives it up to Peter Ryan. George Smith up towards the 22. The short side they go. Harrison into the traffic, ready to
Number
his
13,
opposite number.
Lazy running.
There's some advantage there.
Walker to
Advantage,
Bond.
White.
Advantage for the Brumbies here. And Gregan goes in. Howard.
Still advantage.
Richard McGaw holds on. They'll come back for the penalty.
Number 13,
They are-
Red, lazy runner. 13.
Mark Robinson
1-3.
picked up for the Crusaders. The Brumbies are out on their feet. There's about 5 of them are injured. They probably need changes. With only 16 minutes to go or so, they need to get some reinforcements, some fresh legs out there. There's so many of the players are out on their feet. Aaron Major, have a look at Mortlock, just gets him. Mortlock not fully fit. He's one of them. He's made the tackle. He's then come back around because he knows he's not 100%. He doesn't want to get involved there. If he was fit, he probably could have well have scored this. As it was, he only just beat Dave Hewitt, the replacement front rower. Did everything he could and did it so well, even to get this ball back despite being flipped there.
Well, the Brumbies not going for the 3 points. They're down by 11. It's 14 points to 3. The Crusaders over the ACT.
And right behind them with this line out about 20 metres away from them is most of the Brumbies crowd here. Not too many of them, but they're yelling for all they've got.
And here we go, the Brumbies. Can they score a try? Can they get back into this final?
They need one of their senior players to do something special here.
Wait.
Gregan.
There's obstruction there, I would have thought.
Well, it's play on.
Last feet.
Peter Ryan.
Number 3, offside, advantage.
Advantage again for the Brumbies, and they drive it.
Don't pull him in, 17.
Vickerman took it in.
Still for White.
Gregan. And he gives it to Mortlock. Great tackle by McDonald around the bootlaces. And Gregan again calling Bill Young on the inside. That was forward, but they'll come back.
Number 3.
A quick tap. Pat Howard, just watch this, has the ball in his hands.
Peter Ryan is limping. He's a replacement for Scott Favour, so he's injured at the moment as well.
Bill Young was slow to get up. Sterling Mortlock again was very slow to get up. Ben Darwin looks sore. Peter Ryan's half injured.
Well, Gregan is going to shoot for 3 to try and narrow the gap. He knows that he needs time.
He's picked up Greg Feet there.
Somerville.
Greg Somerville, sorry. Just for lurking with intent on the edge of the breakdown. Offside, and he was the one who made the tackle on Ryan.
Yeah, and that's where Ryan did his leg. There's the castle in the background, Greg Martin.
Well, they'd love to put the grandstand all the way around, but that thing must date back thousands of centuries.
I think that is a 12th century castle. It's National Trust. Can't pull that down.
Peter Ryan's in a bit of strife too.
Well, this is his first match back from a knee injury. He missed a couple of matches in the run-up to the semis.
They are the walking wounded, the Brumbies. This is going to be a huge effort just to finish this game.
Walker, it was a moving target. The wind was just rocking the uprights.
So Peter Ryan's a blood bin.
So David Pusey is coming on. He's just taking the tracksuit off on the side of the field.
It's a serious. That nose is a lot of blood.
Finnegan goes to ground on the 22. Back it goes to Andrew Walker, and he finds touch as the breeze blows it back 5 or so metres. So 14 points to 6.
They're still in there, but as you cast your eye over the Brumbies and you look for someone to make the moment of magic, it's hard to find anyone with the legs to do it. Finnegan may have to step up a gear. He's one of the only fit stars of their team.
Here's Marshall with nowhere to go down the short side.
Took a last feet.
Caleb Ralph goes into scrum half. And Mertens. Wide they go. McGaw. Pat Howard had to rush up out of the defensive line, and so that opened up a gap for McGaw. And they've got numbers over on the far side as well.
Last feet, please. Wide up, wide up. Play on.
Wide ball. Marshall. And now Hammett on the wing. Hammett.
Oh,
into
Graham
touch.
Bond, that's impressive stuff in defence on Mark Hammett.
Yeah.
I think Mertens realises that the Brumbies are in a little bit of trouble injury-wise. He's trying to play very wide and outskirt them.
Yeah, they went left, thinking, well, there's the earlier break. That was McCaw, pushed away from Mortlock's tackle. George Smith. There he is, the two open sides attacking each other.
I wondered how come that ball came out so slowly. Now I know.
Harrison won it for the Brumbies inside their own 22. Somehow they have to work their way downfield.
Chris Jack again.
Gregan.
Hands on.
Pat Howard. Not able to really get through the gap cleanly, but he's tried hard tonight, Howard. And now they cough it up.
Well,
and now Marshall.
That has gone forward.
Well, let's play on, according to the referee. And the Crusaders have it 22 metres out. That has gone forward.
We've been waiting for it. A final Falcon.
Let it go. He's off his feet, fellas. He's off his feet. Can't play it there. You're off your feet. Let it go, please.
Richie Begor.
And they'd love him to go to the bin because he has been one of the best players on the field out there amongst a team of outstanding contributions. Walker done well again. He's into a tough breeze to chew off 20 metres there. Good effort. Jeremy Paul, have a look at here. There's McCaw. He's on his feet there, but now he's not. He's bridging with his legs and still playing the ball.
Crucial line out.
Penalties at this stage. Right?
Yep, 12 conceded by the Brumbies. Only 8 by the Crusaders.
Well, that's great work again by the Crusaders. Mertens, marvellous.
Off his left foot.
Super kick, Andrew Mertens.
A Brumbies throw into the line-out. Jack leapt high.
Well, he went up very early, didn't he, Chris Jack?
Can play.
The other problem with the line-out has been there hasn't been much of a gap that either team has played within the line-out. Andre Watson just trying to open it up a little bit there. That means there's less room for error for the hooker.
Well, they went to the front that time and found Finnegan. But they're back inside their own 22.
Hands off, Red.
Well, we're into the last 10. The Brumbies are running out of time because they have to score twice.
Huxley this time with the kick. And into touch. Halfway.
Brilliant off-spinner there by Huxley.
Well, how many times have we heard Andre Watson tonight say hands off Red, hands off Red? Penalise someone, Andre.
Let go of
Red
the
or
guys
white,
in the air.
penalise someone.
Mark Emmett. Won by the Crusaders. And Mertens.
That is forward.
Robinson.
Balls out.
Mertens. Major. Did well to hold on. That's the halfway mark. McCaw has it. And Marshall to the short side. Hammett back to Marshall. Intercept!
This is great! Walker!
Andrew Walker, we've got a ball game. Walker puts it down. And the Brumbies are back in business with a sniff. They're off the bench for the first time tonight.
5 intercepts in 3 games, the Brumbies. They've become masters at it.
Well, he stood and watched last week as Scott Staniforth did it right before his very eyes. Marshall, you saw his hair, the blonde hair drop as soon as it came off his forearm, flicked up to him. Andrew Walker, he couldn't believe his luck. I don't think any Brumbies fan can either, because that is the only time they've looked like scoring a try all game. What about it? Andrew Walker slot this over. 7 minutes to go. We have a game on our hands.
Walker from in front, the flags are up. It's 14 points to 13.
And now it becomes a battle for field position, because whoever gets a field position will get a penalty and will win this match.
Look at Marshall at the top of the screen there, Kearns. He couldn't believe it. Andrew Walker on his merry way. Sterling Mortlock got there. So did Gregan.
1 point separated them in their week 6 round robin match. 1 point separated them in the 2000 final. Now can the Brumbies dig deep and come up with something? Walker looking for territory. Not finding touch. No, they need to find touch. Caleb Ralph needs support, and it arrives, does it, in the nick of time?
They've got to lift their defence here, the Brumbies.
Penalty.
Hands off his feet.
Mertens will have a crack at this with a force 12 breeze behind him, Kearnsy.
Play the ball.
Yeah, still a tough kick.
Just had 1 on 7 Reds.
It's almost a lottery, I guess, from that close to the sideline. Thorne says, "Nut, let's keep playing." Ruben Thorne ordered him to kick it into touch.
Hammett over the other side was pointing at the goal. He knew what he wanted to do. Oh, that's a great kick.
What a class act. Look, Justin Harrison already off his feet. Fair enough, the penalty. Shows it vividly.
So the Crusaders are making some changes. 18 is on there. Sam Broomhall.
Scott Robertson coming off, the inspirational number 8.
But how good a player is Broomhall? What a season he had last year.
I can see Darryl Gibson out there as well.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, Mark Robinson's come off. Mark Robinson in jersey 13's come off too, Clarkie.
Huxley kicking.
It's over.
The advantage is over. He may have been thinking, we've got advantage, I'll have a crack here, and they'll come back if it doesn't work out. But on that occasion,
It was worthwhile having a go. Julian Huxley almost came off.
Drop goal attempt from Mertens. What's it like? It's there. It's over. Mertens, the magician, has done it again. Well, was it worth having a go? Huxley Nicely kicking over the top, kicking away possession, and Mertens nails them.
He does not miss anything, Andrew Mertens, under incredible pressure in terms of the time of the game and how important that kick was. He just remained calm, dropped it nicely, and you could see in the Hadley stand behind him going nuts. Walker kicks off.
It's full. Well, it's play on because they've touched it. And Mertens, nobody at the back, so Bond is racing away, and it's into touch. 5 or 6 metres out.
Unbelievable, Andrew Mertens.
So just as it looked like the Brumbies were in with a sniff of an upset, an amazing comeback, the Crusaders, well, they've just kept their cool, haven't they? They go to the back. It's nobody. Who wants it? It came off White. The Crusaders really want to clinch it here. They want to really hammer the nail in. Wide they go! Caleb Ralph scores the try. That's the final of 2002. So Caleb Ralph, he scored 4 against the Waratahs, and now he seeks the Brumbies. His 9th try for the season. It's his 50th match for the Crusaders. It's his 4th final. He played for the Blues when they lost to the Crusaders and then headed south. So well done to Caleb Ralph.
Well, tough try for Jeremy Paul. They've called it long. It's gone all over the shop. Bounced around. Crusaders secure the possession. Finnegan and Smith there at the breakdown trying to get it. And straight away they've gone wide. And who was that? Bartholomew's flew up out of the line, and Caleb Ralph scores amongst the hoof marks.
He's the all-time leading try scorer for the Crusaders. That's his 28th try since he's been with them. And Mertens, we'll get a good view of this one. What's it like? What's it
beautiful.
like? It's a beauty.
Well, put this game down to Andrew Mertens the last 5 minutes. As we see that try, great ball. He saw Bartholomew sprint up out of the line. Easy peasy there for Caleb Ralph. But Mertens, that little kick in the touch before the field goal, the kick down the sideline, he is phenomenal. That kick from, they keep attacking. So we saw there, once the Brumbies put the pressure on Greg Clark, the Crusaders just responded and lifted magnificently.
A class act. I think the Brumbies fans were probably hoping that it would be an unlucky 13 for the Crusaders. They'd won 12 in a row, but their 13th win on the trot is now a fait accompli. And I think it's going to take a long time for a side in the Super 12 to match this phenomenal effort in 2002. The Brumbies, to their credit, haven't stopped trying. Pat Howard has been inspirational, trying to get on the front foot, but they just haven't had the possession. They've been hammered by some remarkable defence.
Look how well organised the Crusaders' defence still is.
Yeah, they do not have to commit too many to the tackle, do they? They can keep their defensive line in order. And to their credit, the Brumbies continue to have a dig. We always knew that they would. They were the underdog. They thought that maybe the Crusaders might get a bit of stage fright. First final, a lot of pressure on them, but they've kept their composure, the Crusaders, congratulating each other on the sideline now. They know that they have wrapped up their 4th final in 5 years. Robbie Dean's the coach, assisted by Colin Cooper, and Reuben Thorne in his first year with the captaincy. But the Brumbies haven't given up, but now they won't catch Caleb Ralph. Gregan is chasing. Caleb Ralph, he scored the clincher, so now he's got a double, his 50th consecutive match for the Crusaders. They are going berserk at Jade Stadium. What a finish. Unbelievable stuff. And now all of a sudden they race to 29 points to 13. And the Super 12 trophy is heading back to Christchurch.
Well, the Brumbies had to do it. They had to have a go and go wide and try and get a try to finish off. It just went straight into Caleb Ralph's hands. Try number 29 in his Super 12 history. He laughed all the way to the bank.
Converted by Mertens, 31 points to 13, when not so long ago it was just 14-13.
Yeah, they just picked it up that notch.
So there it is there, the replay of the conversion. And the siren sounds. Andre Watson says, that's it for 2002. The Crusaders, champions yet again. Deservedly so.
Yeah, they're by far the superior side. You see the fans there going crazy. Andrew Mertens, don't they owe that man a huge favour? Marshall, Jack wasn't he outstanding? He was just a terrific team performance. There's Chris Jack in the middle there, thrust the arms skyward then. George Gregan, Jeremy Paul, dejected. Very tough conditions for them tonight for both sides. The Crusaders did handle it better than what the Brumbies did. Gooden Barker scored the first try. McCaw, he was dominant, the open side flanker. He and Smith had a great battle. I think Smith was probably the best of the players for the Brumbies.
Well, we'll get some reaction shortly from the winning captain, Ruben Thorne. Marshall had a blinder again tonight, just dictating play.
Thanks very much, Nuts. Well, there's almost a tear in the eye. This is something special, isn't it?
It's fantastic, mate. Guys worked hard all season for this, you know. It wasn't the best of nights, but the boys really worked hard, stuck to their guns and got the result. It's fantastic.
Tough conditions and very tough Brumbies.
Yeah, they were very tough and the conditions didn't help, you know, but like I said, the boys kept at their work, you know, they just worked hard the whole game and the crowd, you know, it was just an awesome occasion and the guys worked hard, they got the result.
One of your best defensive performances of the year.
Yeah, the guys were really determined, you know, on the home patch here and they didn't want to let anything through and they, you know, I'm just proud of the way they stood up in their defence.
Taking over the mantle from Toddy Blackadder, you know how it feels now, something special, eh?
Oh, it's fantastic, you know, it's one of those special rare occasions that very few people get to experience and, you know, we're very lucky.
You had a great squad, a couple of great coaches, it's just all come together quite nicely. Unbeaten, unbelievable.
It is, you know, I think it'll take a while to sink in, but when we look back on it, I think we'll be pretty proud.
Go and join your boys and we'll see you up on the dais a bit later.
Thanks, mate, cheers.
Now the big question is, will Ruben Thorne be named as the All Black captain now that Anton Oliver is on the injured list? We'll hear from George Gregan very shortly. They never stopped trying, the Brumbies, but it just wasn't their night tonight.
Thanks, Nisbo. Well, George, you gave it your best shot, but they were pretty tough to break down.
Yeah, they played really well tonight. That shows why they've been the outstanding team all year. We never got a chance. We never had our hands on the ball in that first half, and that's where they really stuck it to us.
Couldn't get any territory either. I mean, you like to string some phases together, but you're doing most of the damage in your own half.
Yeah, we were turning the ball over when we actually had them in, you know, I guess asking questions of them in their 22, but they created some great turnovers when they're under pressure, and that sort of gave them a chance to clear it.
You missed Stephen Larkham. He's had terrible injury problems. We understand he's not too good again. That was a bit of a telling blow, obviously, in a big match situation.
Yeah, well, he's a huge player to lose. I guess it'd be similar to them losing Mertz. You know, he directs a lot of the play, and we go to him for a lot. But, you know, it was a good opportunity for a younger guy like Julian Huxley to get some experience at this level.
George, you've got a great fan base at home. I guess you've got a message for them because they've given you great support. You just came up against a side maybe just one better, eh?
Yeah, well, we came up against a champion team. You know, they're deserving champions and we've got a lot of respect for them. But to all our fans back home, thank you so much for your support. We'll be back again next year.
George, nice to see you smiling. We'll see you back for the International.
Thanks.
Yeah, see, thanks to fans back home. They were watching it on the big screen at Canberra Stadium, out at West, Tuggeranong and Royals and the Brumbies Sports Club. But not the result you were looking for back in the Australian Capital Territory. But, gee, this town is going to really go off tonight because they are back on top of Super 12 Rugby. The Crusaders, they led by 11-3 at half-time. Full-time, 31-13. They scored 3 tries to 1 when Andrew Walker ran the intercept. and converted. It was 14-13, and maybe, just maybe, the Brumbies could pull off an upset, but it wasn't to be. 31-13, the Crusaders have beaten the Brumbies in the Super 12 final. We'll take a short break and then we'll come back and wrap it all up here at Jade Stadium in Christchurch. Time now for the presentation with Ian Smith.
It's a little bit hard to attract your attention, ladies and gentlemen. Telecom Super 12 is without doubt one of the world's premier rugby competitions, and you'll have to agree we've just witnessed a fitting finale between two teams who have given their absolute all tonight. It's time now to pay tribute to both those sides and reward in particular a new champion, yet in the same breath a familiar old one. First of all, I'd like to introduce to you the official party, the General Manager of Marketing for Telecom, Mr. Kevin Kenrick, President of the Brumbies, Mr. Jim Ferguson, Vice President of the New Zealand Rugby Football Union, Tane Norton, and our special guest, all the way from South Africa, the Chairman of SANSA, Mr. Silas Nkanunu. My first duty is to call forward the runner-up captain, George Gregan, the brave Brumbies, to say a few words, and then we'll give his side the runner-up medallion. George Gregan.
Firstly, everyone can hear that. I'd just like to thank Ruben Thorne and his team for what has been an outstanding season. You've got a fantastic supporter base here, and all you people in the crowd, you've got a wonderful team to support. You should be very proud of them. They're rightful champions. To my team, fantastic effort, guys, to come this far. We wanted to get here and make sure that whoever won this tournament took it off us, and that's what they did tonight. It took a gutsy effort from players, management, fantastic support back home, and that's something to build on for next year. It gives us something to chase. So everyone back here in Canberra and also here tonight, I thank you so much for your effort. A big occasion. Andre and his team, well done, and pretty much that's it from me.
Just get George to stay here and call his men up one by one. The Brumbies to receive the runner-up medals.
Okay, as I can see them, I think I saw Benny Darwin. Benny. Ben Darwin before, Mark Bartholomew's, Paddy Howard, Scott Farber, Georgie Smith, Dan Vickerman, Andrew Walker, Graham Bond, Dave Busey, Justin Harrison, Angus Scott, Travis Hall, Julian Huxley, Peter Ryan, Snork, no, Pop, Damien Flynn, and Flock.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Brumbies. George Gregan paid tribute to the referee and all the officials tonight, and we like to reward them with a commemorative tankard as well. All the way from South Africa, a quartet. Andre Watson, the referee, did a great job. Mark Lawrence, the touch judge. The other one, Jonathan Kaplan. And the television match official, Mr. Steve Stradham. From South Africa, your match officials. Gentlemen. Okay, Canterbury, this is what you've been waiting for. We have tankards for all your winning squad members. I'm going to ask your captain to come up and introduce them one by one. I'm sure you'd like to see it that way. Ladies and gentlemen, Ruben Thorne.
Darren Gibson, Mark Robinson, Ben Hurst, Richie McCaw, Sam Brugel, Aaron Major, Scott Robinson, Dave Hewitt, Chris Jack, Craig Fleet, Mark Hammond, Greg Somerville, Justin Marshall, Andrew Burns, Ben Blair, Johnny Leo, Corey Flynn, Norm Maxwell, Marika Wanamaka, Caleb Ralph, Leo McDonald, Joe Maddock, Matt Muschin, Bradley Meeker, Nathan Major, Renee Ali, Nick White, Eric Collins, Andy Sullivan, Andrew Moore, Steve Muir, Deb Robinson, Gordon Aker, Colin Cooper, Robbie Deans,
Just stay with us, Ruben, for a second. I'd like to ask Mr. Silas Nkanunu to present fantastic Telecom Super 12 trophy for 2002 to Ruben Thorne and the Crusaders. Would you like to hear from your captain?
First of all, I just want to say to the Brumbies, thank you very much. You're a fantastic side. You've really raised the bar in terms of the Super 12, and it's been a case of catch up or be left behind, and we've got the utmost respect for you guys. while I'm up here, I'd also like to thank Andre Watson. I think he did a fantastic job tonight, him and his officials. Also to our sponsors, who this competition wouldn't survive without: Adidas, FM, Telecom and Ford. Thank you. To all our supporters, throughout New Zealand, especially in the Crusaders franchise: Nelson Bays, Marlborough, West Coast, Buller, Mid Canterbury, South Canterbury, and right here in Christchurch. You guys have been fantastic all season, and again, you've been fantastic tonight. Thank you very much. Finally, to the guys, the whole squad, you worked hard all season, and tonight you got your rewards. Thanks, guys. Awesome.
Telecom, you are a great sponsor of a great competition. Canterbury, you're a great crowd, and you've got some great champions. Enjoy the night. Thank you very much.
Of the Super 12, they were a special side. We saw from tonight their defence. They're an incredibly physically strong team and a mentally strong team. You can.
This has been a Fox Sports